What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Humble Warrior back with you guys with another video. Today I wanted to focus on the hottest topic so far that's going on around Twitter, other media outlets and stuff like that. It's the situation with Tua and Mike McDaniel. And I spoke on this Sunday and yesterday, of course, about my feelings in terms of both of them. So after the Cleveland Browns lost, as we all know, Tua and Mike McDaniel went back and forth throwing shots at each other. The following morning, it was reported they was in the film room early in the morning discussing how the game went down and how they immediately should make changes to the offense to help things get a lot better quicker. With that being said, I read most of the stuff on Twitter, especially with the same people that like to bash Tua and say that he's garbage now and he's never been a good quarterback. And it's like, to you guys that want to keep that same anonymous or evil type mindset about this dude, it doesn't make any sense. He's had one hell of a bad first half to the season, no doubt about that. But it does not mean that he's not capable of turning the second half around and putting up much better numbers, which should result in wins for the team. Now, with that being said, somebody asked, was I still a Tua fan and am I still going to support him? Yes, because I still believe he's going to get better. Like I told Michael, who made him talk on Twitter much more ever since the Cleveland Brown debacle game or whatever. But I look at it as Tua's in year 6, and he can get better as a quarterback. The question becomes, how much are they going to invest in putting enough around him to where he can showcase exactly what he can do over the next few years to come if they decide to keep him. And I also think about a guy named Peyton Manning, who Indy knew was a turnover machine because he had a lot of interceptions his first few years in the league. But he turned himself into a Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame, first ballot quarterback with 2 Super Bowls. Now, am I comparing those two? By no means am I. But what I'm showing you is that Indy put enough around Peyton to where he got them to a Super Bowl and won it. He got them to 2 Super Bowls. They won one and lost one. But the way he played, he was an exceptional quarterback. But he played within the pocket, within the structure of the offense. He didn't veer from that. And I'm like, that's what I want Tua to start doing. You don't have to extend plays, because Peyton Manning never did. Tom Brady really did. They stood from the pocket and did their damage that way. And that's what Tua can do the most effective, is when he's standing back there diagnosing the defense and getting that ball to where it needs to be at. Again, as I told Michael last night, the trajectory for us can start with the Atlanta game. If we're able to beat that team, then we can get hot at the right time going into the second half of the season and take off and shock the world. Because everybody got us out anyway. So why not knock a lot of heads off along the way? All the media pundits, all the other people that basically coming into his head telling him to shut up, be quiet, even though he's not saying anything else. Ever since that debacle about him speaking on the players not showing up or being late to players on the meetings, ever since that moment via the Chargers game that we're talking about, the Cleveland Browns game, the team sent a message back to him. We will not tolerate that type of behavior from our captain or our leader. Message received. He received that message because it was clear that the team had quit on him. So moving forward, I think that a lot of that now has subsided. I think everybody's on the same page in terms of just trying to win now. It's not about being liked or whatever, or being buddy-buddy. We're here to do a job to win a football game. That's what we're here to do. If that means Atlanta got to be the first buckshot and getting us in the right direction, or slingshot rather, then so be it. I'd rather have it be Atlanta so we can get through the next 4 games, possibly win all 4 of those and go to 5 and 6 and go into the bye week. And then come out the bye week, we got, I think it's the Jets and the Saints. We move to 8 and 6 or 7 and 6, and then we'll see the Pittsburgh Steelers at 7 and 6. And assuming that we don't have anything else to lose, we might be able to knock out Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. It'll be a dogfight, though. We might be able to do it. And if we can do that, then we have an opportunity to be playing for something at the end of the year versus just playing to fill roster spots going into the offseason or whatever you want to call it. Because I'd rather have something to play for than to tank for a draft pick that we will be unsure about, period. Mendoza, we don't know what he's going to be. Sellers, the same thing, but people keep talking about they'll take Mendoza not knowing if he's going to pan out as a quarterback. I'm not saying he will. I'm also not saying he won't, because we don't know. 2026 has not got here yet. So, with that being said, to me, this offense primarily is dysfunctional because of McDaniel. Tua's only doing what he can do in terms of getting guys more prep, execution-wise, getting the play calls in, trying to get things set up on the line of scrimmage, and get guys to be where they're supposed to be on the field at all times. There's only so much he can do. A lot of that falls on the head coach because, again, if you watch the game Sunday, he was visibly pissed off with not being able to get a play call in, and there's 15 seconds on the clock. Or the play clock, he had to call a timeout because we don't even have a play in it. We're sitting there just looking. So it's kind of like, well, how do we shorten this, or how do we get it to where nobody's confused and nobody's sitting there trying to make up a play as we go along off the wristband that McDaniel might not even agree with, but it might be a play that we need, like the Baltimore Ravens game. Tua says a few times he winged it, but the plays he called worked. They worked. So I'm thinking maybe he should try to a little bit more incorporate calling plays from the wristband on the spot and disregarding some of what Mike McDaniel tell him in his ear, because some of the stuff that he's saying in the line of scrimmage, I'm pretty sure is making him, is making him iffy about if that play would be successful or not. And to his detriment, if the play design isn't there, then 9 times out of 10, he's trying to basically find another outlet, but because the line is so bad, he has to go with his immediate read or his second immediate read. And just like the end zone interception, I don't know what they expect him to do with that. But, hey, it is what it is, right? Excuse me. But the fan base gotta understand, this fan base or this organization has not had a winning season in decades now, or in a decade and a half. So this whole lofty expectation thing, or beating down to it because you're upset. Actually, no, I take it back. We made the playoffs in 2023 and 2022. So we made the playoffs back-to-back years, those 2 years. But the culture, the way things are structured, the way people think, they always will nitpick when it comes to Tua. And I think it's beyond irrational at this point. Granted, his numbers warrant some of the criticism because 10 picks through 7 games, he's tied with Geno Smith for most picks in the league. That's not a good list to be on. I'd rather have him at the bottom tier, but he's not, and we can't do nothing about it. However, moving forward, he can completely minimize the picks and just throw touchdowns. And if he can just get 2 touchdowns a game over the next 11 games that we have, he could be looking at 32 touchdowns because he already got. No, he was looking at 33 touchdowns and 10 picks because he already got 11 touchdowns on the year. Or maybe he might get hot and throw 3 touchdowns. We don't know. But I'd rather have him throw way more touchdowns and no picks. Like the Atlanta Falcons game, he'll give me 4 touchdowns, no picks. That's 15 touchdowns in a year to 10 picks. So on and so forth. But I think some of the criticism is unwarranted because they act like he's supposed to be a Superman every single time he drops back. That's not what his game is predicated on. And we watch a lot of the tape and a lot of the film. He can and does manipulate defenders and defensive backs. He does it a lot. It's just because the team's so bad this year, it's shown as he can't read a defense. Even Kurt Warner dropped the Kool-Aid, and I was like, damn, you supposed to be a Hall of Fame, quarterback that tells it like it is. Instead, he's saying that Tua can't read defense. But he also made a statement that what do you expect to do in that situation when he's in his end zone trying to make a play? So I think that the season will get turned around. I think it'll start one game at a time. Atlanta is up next. Then we got Baltimore. We just got to focus on one team at a time. We can't look past any team anymore. Every team has to be on our radar as we prepare for them for the week to beat them. We have to treat it like an NBA Finals Game 7 every single game. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. And I'll get it with you guys in the next one. Peace.